podcast with some very appropriate music from Ted Nugent, the Motor City Madman with Stranglehold. And we've been starting all our podcasts with some really good tunes, and this is an outstanding riff. That's Sal always mentions, Sal being the younger guy always mentions that this music is 30, 40 years old, but stands the test of time.
I love this stuff.
I love it too.
It doesn't get any better.
Now, this shit is killer. And we decided to come up with Ted because now the left is trying to compare what Ted Nugent said to Kathy Griffin.
Oh my God.
Which is a fucking comedy right there in itself.
Ted, finish you later.
So every time Sal and I come on this show once a week, the streak continues where we say, this week cannot get any worse, and then next week is always worse.
I know.
And this week that we just passed is a shit show of magnanimous proportions.
See, good thing was this last week I kind of had off a lot of the week, so I kind of tuned out a lot.
Yeah.
Took a little mental break from the shit, but I saw the major headlines. I saw the Kathy Griffin thing. I saw the London attacks. I saw the big news. But it was nice to just take like 2-3 days off, give yourself a little mental rest. Like, I suggest everyone gives it a try. Like, it was nice.
Yeah, you do it. It's kind of strange, but you do have to kind of take a break from this because it's almost like you're inundated by just crazy shit information, and it's swirling around your head like this fucking like this swarm of mosquitoes.
Constant.
Yes,
it's boom, 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 hitting you right in the face. Oh.
And if you don't get it from you searching it out, it does find you.
Yeah.
Like it finds you like anything you turn on TV, which I don't really watch, but even if you do, even in passing, if you're stuck somewhere, you get your oil changed, or you're at work and you just listen to this shit and your head just fucking twists off and spins because of the insanity.
Yeah, it really is. It's like if they do one thing wrong, something blatantly obviously wrong, they spin it and be like, well, this is what happened when your guy did this 30 years ago. It's like, holy shit. Well, we're talking about you right now, not what we did.
Right.
In the past.
If you're trying to ignore it, then you have, like my mother or your grandma, a lot of people are nervous. I mean, they're nervous. They're constantly asking questions, and, they're only watching certain things. And so even if you try to stay out of the fray, it's kind of like Michael Corleone says, every time I look to get out, you drag me back in.
They pull me right back in.
It's true. That's one of the best lines because it's true.
I think it's Silvio doing it in The Sopranos.
Yeah, he's another one. He does it great. And so it's true. But this week was just one hit after another after another.
Yeah, it was unreal. It was really unreal.
I mean, it started off with Kathy Griffin.
Yeah.
And listen, this is the thing. When I see something like this happen, I overanalyze everything. Here's what I think. This is way more than just some comedian holding up a decapitated head of a president or a person. Way more than that. And the thing that's funny is she made it way more than that.
Yeah.
Which like if she had just said, "Oh my God, I made a mistake," heartfelt apology. Was it right? No. Will we have pasted her? Yes. But it would have died.
Yeah. Like, I didn't want to get into it so quickly, but I'll just bring it up and we'll go back to it later on in the show. Mental illness plays a whole large part. Obviously, she was desperate and wanted attention, and thought, she took a huge chance trying to do something to make, get popularity, make money.
Exactly.
Huge backfire. But mental illness comes into a huge part of that to me.
That, or maybe all the plastic surgery she got, it all went to her brain. Just soaked, like the Botox just soaked through her. We always talk about that. That shit's got to soak in somewhere, does it not?
I mean, it's going to go into your glands. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Listen, I can't help this. When I look at a woman like her, I've said this a couple of times. She reminds me that she's trying to impersonate a lizard.
Yeah. She
looks like a fucking lizard.
How the fuck does your skin get so bad? Like, you have all this money. How do you not just work on your skin constantly?
You know what's funny? It would be I don't think you and I would be making fun of a woman who was maybe born and lived life looking this way. But the fact of the matter is, she made a decision from researching that this is what she wanted to look like.
Yeah.
She took that decision, got in a car, drove to a place, went in front of a person like you and said, "Doctor, I want this, this, and this," and then fucking paid tons of money for it.
Oh my God.
To look young.
That's the thing too, but she's an antagonist comedian. She comes out people all the time. If she can't handle what she says, she better be able to take it,
Well, one of the caveats to her is that if you remember back, and it wasn't reported much on the mainstream media about her, but back in the day, she called Sarah Palin's son, infant son, retarded. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think the kid suffers from Down syndrome.
Okay.
Retarded. A kid who has Down syndrome because you don't like her.
Yeah. It's not like you're calling your friend like a retard.
You're
actually doing it to hurt someone's feelings that is mentally challenged.
Listen,
like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I know G and I use, she always calls me a tart. Yeah. Like tart, because I am a fucking idiot at times. And she says, my husband's a tart, And if you and I talk like that, I'm fine with that. But
that's loving.
Exactly. Yeah. But think about, now, you're talking about an infant.
That you don't know.
You don't know. Because you don't like the woman or her ideology, you call her son a retard. I mean, think about that.
That's just that desperate plea for attention. Like, please, someone look at me and let them buy my CD or whatever the fuck. Like,
I mean, there's certain things that, even the most despicable humans in Hollywood or the media, children are off limits. Handicapped children.
I mean, that's where her career is at, though. Like, this, she has to cut off the head of a president. She has to make fun of people with Down syndrome. Like, that's all she's got now. And
then she didn't really get pasted much on that, which I was shocked. The media kind of let her slide. They kind of gave her a pass. But then, because I don't think they like Sarah Palin either, so they didn't chalk it up to that being a big thing. But she's still calling back. She's calling Trump's 11-year-old kid shitload of names.
Yeah. Well, they all do that.
So they all do that. It's a kid.
The Pile-On Express. It's
for a little kid.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
I can't believe it. Some of the shit that comes out, like, how is it news? How is it news? And, like, there's so much important stuff to talk about, but they talk about the petty. And we talked about that last time, and it was just like, you just see it continually go on and on and on. And all they do is spin the bullshit. Spin the bullshit.
And I know what happened with her. This is what happened with Kathy Griffin. She thought she was being cute. She thought she was being funny. She thought all of the Hollywood and her liberal comrades, and I use comrades because that's a fucking communist name, would come to her rescue. And when they didn't, and she got fired from CNN, and she lost all her appearances. Matter of fact, she was supposed to make an appearance at the Bergen Pack Center, and they whacked her. Like she's gone. She's shot. So what happened was her agent said to her, "You fucking idiot," because he makes a living based on what she books. Exactly. So he said, "You come out with an apology. You got to come out." And she fucked that up even worse.
Even worse. She fucked the apology up even worse.
And then you find out who she hired as her ambulance chaser. Her ambulance chaser was Gloria Allred's daughter. Holy fuck. Gloria Allred is if you people don't know who Gloria Allred is, she is the lawyer to the fucking victim asshole type clients of our time. Every fucked up person Gloria Allred is represented. And I can't even believe she still has a legal career, because every person she's represented is some fucking idiot that literally did something fucked up, lied about it, and then she's trying to, say she's the victim, like that thing we talked about.
Always trying to pin it on the other person.
Exactly. And that was the funniest part of the whole thing, is even after all this, then Kathy Griffin comes out and says, "Oh, I'm going to talk more about Trump now." Like, you know what? You might as well just fucking, drive that stake in deep, because you're done.
It's like one of these things, like, it's happening right now, so it's hard to see the big picture. Like, if we pull ourselves out of this and we look back in like 2-3 years, and you see some policies get passed, and we see some things change, and you see like the economy really blow up and get better, I don't know, what's the tune gonna be? Are people gonna remember all this bullshit that went down? Like, what's the spin gonna be?
I still think they're gonna try to piss on them.
I just don't think like, after a while, how could it continue to work? Like, it can't. People are gonna tune out, and it's gonna be a major shift. And I wish we could go in time. I really wish there was a time machine so I can go and see what's gonna happen. But I have to play it out by ear.
It's funny. A lot of people on my Facebook are like happy about this. My conservative buddies, especially my buddy Anthony LaVista on Facebook. Shout out to Anthony. Doug Phelps. They're always like, "This is great. Let them keep doing it, because they're killing themselves."
They are.
They'll guarantee conservative leadership for the next 100 years if they keep this up. And I never thought about it like that, but it's true.
They really will. I mean, what they're doing is the younger generation that is like whatever, who has no real say in the politics of the past and like what's been going on. They're coming up now. They're going to be future voters in 4 or 8 years. They're seeing all this craziness, and they're like, I don't know. Can they really support that and get behind all that wild accusation and non-truth?
No,
I don't think they can.
No.
So I feel like they're just totally, like they're totally isolating themselves in like a corner,
right?
And they're about to just be, you know what happens,
right?
They're gonna lash out and just get.
And you're right. I mean, I didn't want to start off the thing with Kathy Griffin because, like you mentioned earlier, there's so much more important stuff going on. I just wanted to hit on it because I found it to be incredibly humorous. And starting off with Ted Nugent, you know,
yeah, it's perfect.
It was just perfect segue, and so we'll put her to bed because you know what's funny. I never even really wanted to talk about her. So I didn't think she was worth it, but her and then her stance was so. I didn't even look at it so much about her, more of like a liberal mindset about how fucked up they really are. Yeah. And she just played right into it. She's one of them.
I know. I saw it play out firsthand. Like, are you fucking kidding? Take ownership of your
exactly.
Your actions.
It was a combination that made me think of a liberal mindset, which is one and the same, but also you always call it like the elitist attitude of the Hollywood person.
So true. And you see it like it's coming out more and more and more, and people are just a lot of ignorance I see out there. And a lot of people like they're not stupid people. They're just ignorant to the fact that the other side exists. And it's just like, fucking pay attention. I
always think really hard about this. Like, let's talk about Hollywood actors or entertainers. Let's think about what they do for a second. Now, if you're going to do a pros and cons, the pro is they're all very wealthy.
Yeah.
America and the world puts a high premium on entertainment. Mm-hmm. Probably because everybody busts their ass and works so hard that they want to do something that they can get a kind of an escape.
They need to get lost for
exactly. So it always put a high entertainment on music, deservedly so, movies, TV shows, things of that nature. Yeah. These people are very well paid. But when you peel back the onion, Sal, and you look at what these people really do, especially actors, actresses, they're basically fucking idiots.
No, I know. They're like little drones.
That's all they are. I mean, they are they are people who could be or not be creative, but they read what they're puppets. They read what somebody else. Now, whether they have the look, whether they have the connection, or whether they just were right place, right time. That's pretty much what they are. They're people who, for some reason, get their ass kissed all the time by the public.
And then that's the thing I think, like, it happens a lot. I say it a lot with doctors and stuff. Like, I guess it's like an old timer mindset. They put these people as they're holier than thou.
Right.
And I try to like explain, like, no,
happens all the time.
They're just people.
Exactly.
They are just people. Like, especially like you're watching TV. There's no difference between that man that you're watching, like, I don't know, Ray Donovan.
Right.
He's just an actor in a show.
Yeah, it's not really. He's not the real guy.
Yeah. There's no difference between him and the real, like, in real life. He's a human being. He's just like you. And people are just like, no, he's so great. He's so no, there's not. He can act a little. He has a good camera presence. There's nothing so crazy about it.
Yeah, I've never been a stargazer. As a matter of fact, I don't even really. One could be sitting, and I've been when I worked in the city, and I used to go out to LA a lot. You sit. I don't even give a fuck. Yeah, I'm like just another fucking guy.
Person. That's all they are.
Well, what amazes you to me? What amazes like when you see these people? It's actually shocking because I don't think they look that good, guy or girl. I think the camera does a lot for them. You know, they do a lot of makeup type stuff. When you're sitting next to them, or like in bird's eye view. I know. Listen, I'll say this. This is an interesting story. I used to work all the time in Manhattan every day, and one of my doctors was he was the doctor to Eileen Ford Modeling, and I was a young kid back then. I was single. I was 24. I was a young guy, and he calls me one day, and he had a beautiful location. He was on 5th Avenue and 83rd. It's like primo area in like the summertime, beautiful. And he calls me one day. He goes, "Hey, Gary, you got to come in here." He goes, "All these Eileen Ford Modeling stars are doing a shoot in Africa. They're all in here for their shots. They got to get their shots before they go. You got to come in." There's like 50 of them. So being a 24-year-old guy, like, fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go. And back in the day, it was all Eileen Ford was the shit. I mean, she had the top 10 that you saw in every commercial, every magazine. That was them, Eileen Ford Modeling. I walk in, and the first thing that came to my mind is, oh my God, these women aren't even that attractive. Matter of fact, walking 10 blocks down Fifth Avenue, I just saw about 10 girls just walking by that would shit on these girls. But they were in there getting their ass kissed. Who was nasty? I think the chick, Kate Moss at the time, was number one. She was standing, when I tell you, she was sitting 5 feet from me. I wouldn't have looked at her twice, and I think she was hungover or fucked up. But I wouldn't. Yeah, she was a big time druggie. Yeah. But I wouldn't even have looked at her twice. But my point being is that this is not real world.
Yeah. It's not. It's not. It's a fucking glimpse of an imagination of somebody.
Exactly.
Like, it's all fake. It's all fantasy. It's just like, get your shit together, people. Like,
and they're all unhappy. How come you find all these people commit suicide? I mean, there's a lot of Hollywood people that commit suicide or get into drugs, and it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much people look up to you. It does not matter.
I feel like it's more that if you're born into money and wealth like that,
yeah.
I don't know. You always hear stories about these really super wealthy people that they're not
miserable.
They're not grounded.
No,
is what it is. They have no sense of fucking reality, and like they think everything is at their whim, all this shit, and they have no idea how people actually live.
And they're fucking miserable.
They're miserable, and that's what makes them miserable too, because they have no fucking human connection.
Right.
They have no, interpersonal skills. They have nothing they can actually do, like connect with people.
That was one of the funny things. If we're talking about Ray Donovan or Entourage, if you remember Entourage,
great show.
My favorite part of the show was it made Hollywood people look like the assholes they are. It didn't put, cotton candy and rainbows. Yeah. It didn't put the spotlight on them. It made them show how fucked up Hollywood people really are. Just with a lot more money than you and I.
Mm-hmm. And they deal with these crazy numbers, and all it is for entertainment. It's
insane. Exactly.
Insane.
So with that being said, we'll move on from that topip because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, we could spend infinite time on entertainment.
Last night, just got to mention London.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Well, I mean, it's things we've been talking about previously.
Without doubt.
What do we say? London, England, Paris, all these places, all of Europe is fucking, you're toasted right now.
Like, exactly. It's funny because I told this story on Facebook, but I got to mention it here on our podcast. But this actually happened. My wife and I went to St. Lucia, and St. Lucia is a British island. There are a lot of Brits there, and they're cool people. But every afternoon we went to this one beach for a week, and we saw this one family, and it was a big family. They had I think he had 4 children, and they had brought their friends, and then he had a girlfriend, and his ex-wife had a boyfriend, and they were all together. So all in all, it was probably around, they're occupying maybe 10, 12 people.
Okay.
And so we got to talking to them. It's all about music, believe it or not. And it was interesting because we were listening to, on our radio, we had English artists, they had American artists. So that's how we got to talking. I think we were listening to Elton John, and they were listening to I think Lou Reed or something. Okay. And then, we asked them specifically about radical Islam in England. And it was funny because they dismissed us about it. Like we were, their theme was, excuse me, you don't live in England. It's exaggerated. It's not that bad. I think America is always alarmist when it comes to this stuff. And so,
and this is 2 months ago, right?
This is a little over 2 months ago. So my wife proceeds to have a conversation, and on my phone, I just pull up and there was a laundry list of London attacks from refugees, not just murders, but rapes, all this stuff. I'm showing it to them. They're going, no. I'm like, what do you mean? No. This is all happening here. And I'm showing them down my phone. Then the father got involved. He was a wealthy man. I think he had an IT company, and he sold out, and he made you could tell, he took all 14 of these people on his dime. He had money, and St. Lucia was quite expensive. So he kicks in. He goes, you people from across the pond, you always want to, talk about your guns, and how it diverted into, I don't know, but we got into it. And he was polite, but him and I were, and G were kind of going back and forth. And this went on. And at the very end, right before we left that day, I said to them, you people are going to be in a lot of trouble mark my words. I said, very, very, very bad things are going to be happening to your country, to London in general, and to English people. Mark my words. And last night, not that I'm happy about it, not that I told you so, but I said to my wife last night, I said, hun, these fucking people, wherever they are, whatever they're doing, must be looking at each other and going, holy fuck, that fucking Guinea from Jersey, from America, was right.
That retarded Guinea
right.
from Jersey. Yeah, how did he know?
I don't know. What has he got? They must be thinking I'm fucking Nostradamus, because everything I said to them basically just transpired in fucking 1 hour.
Wild. And this London on the bridge attack was when, last night?
They all were. Yeah, they were there. They were all coordinated. They were at the box truck on London Bridge.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then another area, I think called Borough Market. Some dudes just jumped out and started running into restaurants, cutting people's throats, stabbing people.
Well, they wanted to help these people.
And then there was a third place they showed up and did the same.
Oh my God. I can't even, it's been so, I feel so tired saying it, like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, I can't believe that people actually are like, yeah, let's let them in. Let's let them in.
You know what's funny? It's not funny, but I have this, and I gotta say, and I was thinking, I actually posted it, but Daniel Stango, my buddy Daniel Stango, sent some to me. This is what I pictured last night before I went to bed. I pictured a room like this, except a lot more weird shit going on, like camels in the corner and fucking swabby hats and fucking a lot of beards, really long beard. I pictured all these leaders of all of these radical Islamic groups like ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, Abu Sayyaf, Hezbollah, all of them, Al-Shabas, all sitting in a corner and saying, one of the guys, the main dude, whoever the king sand asshole is, you know, like I expect him like to get up in the middle of the room and say something along these lines. Wait a second, let me get this straight. We're sending all our refugees to these countries. They're raping, murdering, and killing people. We're telling them we're going to murder more of them. We're basically saying we're going to take over the political system and their country. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's one part. Second part is there are individuals in those countries sticking up for us. Yeah. There's politicians
that want it.
They're politicians that doing nothing.
They're all in it. It's
holy fuck. This is like taking candy from a baby. Yeah. If I'm the leader of ISIS, I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah, they make it too easy.
Yeah, like, they're getting.
Thanks for Europe.
They're trying to take guns. They're trying to take guns away from their citizens who can protect themselves, and we have all the guns in the world. Yeah.
It's wild. Did you see Putin had like his little news conference? He was trying to pull everybody in.
Yeah,
he's like, we need to combat them as a whole. This, that. It's just like, it's not gonna happen, man. You got one country you can ally with, us. That's it.
I do think that, and you mentioned this, and I'm sorry. The proof is in the pudding. Extreme liberalism is a fucking mental disease.
It's a mental illness.
It's a mental illness.
It is. I would say extreme conservatism, mental illness. And there's but it's all like.
All right, let's try to. Because one thing I was thinking about this. What could we even equate? What could we even possibly equate to extreme conservatism that could harm our country the way refugees, letting them in, murdering, killing, raping, even nothing really.
Yeah. It's just, some of it is just in poor taste, but nothing is fucking deadly to the society. Right. Like
it can't even be calculated how fucked up this is. And you have people who still, to this day, I had people last night on Facebook fucking attacking me because they get from the Red podcast or whatever, so they're not my friends. And you can't, like, their drivel is so boring and taxing. I can't get into them because I really, really try to comprehend. And we always talk about, this is what this podcast is about, listening to other people's. But of all the topics we discuss, this one is one that I can't even grasp. To me, there's not even, like, if I'm going to remain closed-minded and vigilant and not look at other people's opinions, there have been way too many things to prove to me that there is no wiggle room on refugees and radical Islam. It is, those guys are fucked up. hateful. They do not want to assimilate. They do not want to become with friends with you and I. They don't want to wave an American flag or any flag other than the fucking black one.
Yeah.
And they want to kill people. And it's been proven over and over and over.
I heard a stupid comedian I was listening to. Like, he was real dumb. He's obviously uninformed and just not too like keen on looking into things. He goes, Catholicism. He's like, you got all these priests and all the kid touching and all this shit.
Agreed.
He's like, how come? I swear to God, he said this word for word. He goes, how come there's not any of that going on in the Muslim world? I kid you not. And I started laughing my ass off. I was like, how is this person even allowed to be like, he's a semi-famous comedian.
Wow.
He writes, he does like all kinds of TV shows.
Wow.
I was just like, whoa.
Dude, are you serious? Like,
I was like, well, they get fucking married off their little babies when they're 6 years old.
They do a lot of shit.
Yeah, they do horrible, horrible things to these kids. Like, we don't have to get into it.
Right.
It's like known.
Wow.
It's fucking known, but I guess it's not known in some of these liberal circles. It opened my eyes a little. I was like, wow, these fucking people are just that ignorant that they don't know this.
Fucking ignorant. Listen,
they know about Catholic kid touching because it's on TV.
Of course,
but if you don't fucking just throw the Muslim shit out there, like they don't, they just hide it all.
Well, listen, I've read the Quran many times. Yeah. Muhammad, he was a fucking pedophile. So they follow a pedophile. We can say one thing about God or Jesus. At least thank God they weren't that. That's one thing. But I'm one of the biggest back in the day when this all came to fruition. I was one of the biggest, I guess, loudmouths or voices against that whole thing because I think that was fucking despicable the way it was handled and the way they took priests and moved them from one one parish to another.
To keep doing it.
That's fucking horrific. And in my town, one of the churches that we had, there was a priest that was all over. It was rampant. It was rampant.
Yeah, Benedict was part of it, the Pope. So
exactly.
I mean, it went deep.
Right. So that's something, and we won't get into that now.
No,
but
I'm telling you that story that this fucking idiot didn't know about Muslim and the culture. I was like, you fucking idiot. And it sucks because doing what they did, they just basically fuck the credibility of Catholics and Christians. And that's what it's like, because it's a huge podcast. It's not like this where a few hundred people, maybe we can get 2,000 people to listen to this. It's building. We're building our audience. So the audience there is like, a million people are going to hear that.
That's what he said.
Like, thanks, dude.
Well, you just gave a whole bunch of bullshit.
Half of them people are all fucking idiots and never going to look into it. And I was like, nah, that's what they're going to think. This is really what they're going to think. And then I'm like, yeah, and that's why you see this push for like, why are refugees coming here?
Right.
What's the big deal? What's the big deal, actually? Fucking morons. You listen to the wrong people. Like, you don't listen to people with actually fucking common sense.
You don't see what the fuck's going on.
You just don't realize it or don't know.
Like you live, like wherever this guy's from LA.
Yeah.
You live in your little fucking LA bubble, your Beverly Hills bubble. You don't see what's going on in fucking Germany, all these other, how could you not? All across the whole planet. And listen, even in communities in this country, it's going on. Smaller kind of communities it's going on.
And that's what like a lot of it is. I don't want to call people stupid. They're just more ignorant. There's more like they're misunderstanding what's going on than actually I want to call it a misunderstanding because I don't want to call them just blatantly evil, trying to fucking do wrong and bad, but that's what it seems like they're doing.
It seems like that to me.
But I feel like I want to call it just a huge misunderstanding. Like they need to take a step back, let the ego go for a second and actually listen.
You bring up a good point. I talk to a lot of people. I ask myself a lot of questions, and the purveying question that I cannot answer or get answered is kind of what you just mentioned. Two questions. It's one question, but it has kind of like a umbrella. Why would political leaders like Merkel, Macron, Obama, I think I know why. Why would Merkel, Macron, why would you want this for your country when you know your people are getting fucked up? Are they being paid?
Yeah, I mean, they must.
What is it? There's got to be an end game, no?
I feel like it's either they're being paid or they it's a huge conspiracy theory, but maybe it's like, secret society shit. Like
they want to destroy.
They have been privy to information that if it got out, not only would harm them, would harm everything else. So they want to cause such a shitstorm.
So they want to cause a huge distraction.
So it's like, yeah, we can't let this information get out.
We
have to go along with the flow.
No, Sal, that's not. I know a lot of people, right? And I listen. I am completely, what do you call it? I'm completely on board with something like that.
Yeah.
And then I think about, then I take a step back, and my next question is, like, why would a liberal, and I think I know the answer to this, but why would a liberal in America, or the world for that matter, want these people here? And then I personally think, and you mentioned this, and I thought a lot, because it's funny, when Sal and I talk, a lot of stuff, that Sal says, I go back and I think about, because I love the fact he has a completely different point of view because of his age, like I did when I was, but I think the liberal mindset is one that is so out there that, like you mentioned, I think people, you got to go back and say, why does someone think like this?
Yeah.
Why
do they?
Are they indoctrinated from kids? Were they brought up this way? Their school system obviously we're fucked.
Yeah.
Our college campuses are fucked. You mentioned that a couple weeks ago. They're fucked.
Yeah,
95% of them.
Oh, it's bad. I don't know. That's a great question. It's one that I couldn't answer. I think it has a lot to do with the wanna be included type feel.
Right.
Like you want to be included, but then it's just like when you look at the whole team mentality, when you actually take it, it's like we're all on the same fucking team.
Right.
When we look at it. So this whole team mentality is fucking retarded. It's like, that's why, I don't know, as I get older, I'm drawing, I obviously love baseball. I'm never going to give up the Mets, but I find myself leaning more and more out of like team sports and stuff like that, like more individualistic stuff like fighting and stuff like that, because I mean, it's a lot to do. It's a lot of bullshit. Like the National Football League, why are these guys getting paid so much money? Why do they have so much influence? What the fuck do they do that's so special? They're playing football.
Right.
Like, it's all children's games.
I think when I go back and look at, not going to digress into sports, but the one thing about team sports, I think that kind of is when free agency came back in the day, probably before you were born, guys stayed on teams all their life.
It actually meant something.
It meant something. Like back in the day when the Boston Red Sox played the Yankees, you had people who were, you cut their arm, not to sound weird, but they came out like blue and fucking red. Yeah. Red Sox. You cut the Yankees, it was, pinstripes and blue. That's the way it was. And you had, all of a sudden free agency came aboard. You had guys you hated jumping over to your side of the fence for money. And that kind of, since then, that was like that year was like 1977.
Reference for culture wise, people are just like ultra super capitalists now, and like the fucking highest bidder no matter what, even pure evil. I'll take the money. That's a big deal. Like, I think
your spin on it is not a spin at all. I think it's correct.
I just don't like, it's the team mentality thing. Like, take a step back, like I was saying previously. Look at the big picture. We're all on the same fucking team.
Absolutely.
So to hate on one side or hate a team is fucking preposterous.
I agree.
Because then you hate yourself for some reason is what it comes down to. There's something mentally blocking yourself from realizing these ideologies that aren't even trying to hurt you.
Right.
They're just trying to help you.
I think so long and hard, and now you just reminded me, and I think the point I was making before, and I tried and it didn't come out right, was you said it last week, and you were correct that liberals want to make the world perfect. Yeah. So they look at these refugees as, we're going to change them. They're going to be nice people. And you know what's funny? Here's the part that bothers me. I don't even criticize that thinking based on,
it's pure thinking. It's nice, but it's not going to happen.
But if you're talking maybe about people who are Hindu or people who are, whatever, Buddhists. Yeah. But you're talking about people who have like the proof.
Their mantra is death.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Convert or die.
Right. And I always say it's like having like a, some type of box on your back. And, every day you're throwing something in it that shows that your opinion is not your opinion, your thought process is not correct. So, for example, someone has a liberal mindset. They throw this box on their back, like a backpack. Yeah. I throw, someone may say, Donald Trump, I don't like him. Okay, I'm gonna put maybe like a, what do you call it? Like a piece of straw in there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You don't like Donald Trump. I'm fine with that. Or they might say, I don't like the new policy. All right, maybe you put a penny in there. You say Muslims shouldn't come here. I get a fucking 50-pound plate. Like, holy fuck. Now I'm throwing plate after plate. Now you can't even stand anymore. You're on your knees because the weight you have on your back from your misinformation and thought process is killing you.
And you see it just crushing all these.
It's crushing
all the politicians right now.
Right. It's crushing them.
And they're all, no, the Republicans, they're screwed. The Senate, they're screwed. It's just like, no, it's the opposite, actually. Because, you know, it's not in this, maybe in Europe and all that, those people are fools. Not here. People actually showed it in the last election. Right. We're not fucking retarded. We're not,
yeah. And G, my wife, is a huge proponent on this. She says, and I agree with her, but this is what I feel bad for. And we get off London after this.
Yeah.
I really feel bad for the people in London who are like us, that are just overrun with this ideology, and they think like we do. Mm-hmm. And G's like, fuck them. My wife is like, fuck them. They made their bed. This is the way they think. Let them die on the vine. I agree with that. When you have a thought process, now this is going to sound crazy, but I saw the video. One of the guys, someone had a camera phone in back of one of the restaurants, and a dude, his wife was behind him. He had a chair, and he was holding the guy off. The guy had like a 10-inch knife. It looked like a fucking kitchen knife, and the guy was holding him off with it. He had kind of like, it was like a lion tamer kind of thing. Do you know, after they got the guy out, he fucking ran off. Do you know he went fucking nuts on Islam? Now now think about this. Yeah. This man, his wife is behind him, just fought for his life. Fought for his life. Went off on, and this guy called him an Islamophobe. Now, I would have, you know what I would have done? I would have broke the fucking chair over that guy's head.
Oh yeah.
That's what I would have did. Meanwhile, that guy who called him Islamophobe was hiding underneath the table and couldn't be seen.
The people who love Islam so much, they should go.
Right.
And just go visit Pakistan.
Exactly.
Just go visit. See if you make it out.
Go to Iraq.
See if you make it out. See if you can. That's like that's a true Hunger Game right there.
Right, it is.
Be white. Be Islam. Be not an Islamophobic. Right. Be the supporter of it.
Yeah, be a supporter
and go and see if you can. See if you can make it out. I'll give you money. I'll give you.
It's been done.
A stipend.
It's been done dozens of times. A chick from Milan, Italy, did it. She ended up dead in the side of a ditch.
You're not gonna make it out.
Two German chicks did it. Two Swedish chicks said, "Oh, we're going to go give peace and love to these Muslims who are getting chastised." They ended up dead, raped and killed.
Dead.
Come on,
sex trafficking.
Exactly. The fuck out of here. It's a fucking joke.
Stupid.
Fucking. And and like my wife says, you get what you deserve. Yeah. I have no sympathy towards those women.
Stupid is a stupid does.
Exactly.
Take one for Forrest Gump right there.
Yeah.
Fucking morons.
I don't do anything but feel bad. I can't feel bad if you can't help yourself. People like us can't help you.
Yeah. It's like you gotta have the right mindset to actually want to have help.
Right.
It's mental illness.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do. I completely agree with you, Sal. It is, and people put all the time, it's a mental illness. And I know like when we write something like that on Facebook or when we talk, it's LOL. Yeah. It's not. I think it really fucking is.
It's mental, like
brainwashing.
For the mental illness, you see it creep out with guns. Yeah. A lot in this country.
Great point.
A lot of it is, it's not these fucking because we have guns or we're allowed to have, it's people are fucking, they're mentally ill. They have problems. They have imbalances.
Yep.
Something fucked up happened to them in their childhood and now they snap.
Right.
It's not because it's not because we're allowed to have guns.
Right.
That's not the reason.
Right. Yeah. And that's now, I'm waiting for that because all of a sudden, like over in the last 24 hours, you've heard a real lull from the liberals on gun control because people got killed with knives and trucks. You fucking
They're
idiots.
not even using guns.
They're not even using guns. You fucking idiots. So now what do you want to do? Do you want to ban knives? And listen, I've done my research. FBI statistics show in America, more people are killed with knives, baseball bats, crowbars than guns.
Yeah. I believe that.
Right. It's right there. It's not this isn't me making up the shit is in the FBI.
The people who have the guns in this country have a lot of guns. It's not that everyone in the country, there's 400, 300 million guns, but it's not like everybody in the country has a gun. It's just a lot of fucking people have a lot of guns.
Right. And they're responsible. Yeah. They know how to use them. Mm-hmm. They're trained. Listen, someone else told me a story, and this is good because I always to me, children and the elderly always have the best mindset because it's pure. Yeah. And this woman on my Facebook said that she was in a bank with her 88-year-old mother. And the mother was there, and the guys who come in with the money, the security guys was packing. Yeah. Was packing a gun. And the grandmother said, to her daughter, is that allowed? Is that allowed to have a gun? And she's like, yeah, Ma, he's carrying because he has a permit. He's carrying money. She goes, oh, I'm so happy. I feel so safe. Yeah. And that's the way I would react. Yeah. Like when I was in Plano, Texas, and I've talked about this before. If you look at Plano, Texas, it's the highest gun capita in America per citizen. It's crazy. These guys are fucking gun maniacs. Yeah, loads of guns, and they can carry anywhere. But it has the lowest crime rate of any major city in America as well. Yeah. So that's an interesting statistics. But my point of the story is I was sitting at a bar, and here I am, some Italian from northern Jersey, and I'm sitting there with these cowboys, fucking cowboys, legit cowboys, cowboy boots, fucking jeans, hats, and they're fucking strapping on these fucking Glocks and these. Do you know what? I started talking to them. I loved it.
That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. Like the statistics show everyone who does, if it's an open carry like that and everyone's packing, crime's real low. People are very nice. Because you're obviously you're on edge a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna fuck with this guy.
Of course.
So you be normal, you be nice. Right. You don't act like a jerk off and try to get over and connive people. Well, it's like you just act like a good person.
Well, it was funny because I was never fearful once.
There's no need to be afraid.
I wasn't at all. Like, it was almost the complete opposite. Yeah. I was almost like, fuck, we're cool.
If someone fucking tries to fuck around over here, I'm safe.
I got 4 dudes next to me fucking carrying like massive amounts of firepower. And it's funny because I saw a documentary on HBO a long time ago. They went on death row.
Yeah.
And they picked these murderers' brains why they did all this shit. One of the questions they asked them was, why did you do what you did to the people you did it to? And 99% of the guys said because they weren't carrying a gun. Jesus. We did it in a place where it was a gun-free zone for the citizens. So the person, whoever was talking, said, "Oh, so you didn't commit your crime in Florida or the?" And he's like, "No, we did it where Chicago, New Jersey, New York, Boston, where there's no guns. We had a gun. They didn't. We had no fear for our life."
Holy shit!
So think about that. Fucking criminals on death row who murdered people thought about not going to a place where they could get killed, or at least be contested.
It's a sick fucking.
It's a sick fucking thing.
These fucking people are sick.
So when I hear like all these anti-gun people, I say, listen, your fucking argument is now as shallow as a puddle, man.
And you really you don't know when the shit's gonna really go down. People are like, no, because life is so simple now for people. It's so easy. It's never been this easy ever. Mm-hmm. People are living longer. Everything is readily available to you at all times.
Yep.
And there's no struggle no more. So like. And people are like, nah, this shit can never go down. People can never take it. So it could happen.
Absolutely.
It could happen like a fucking blink of an eye.
It's happening in London.
It's happening before our eyes in London. And it's just like people, you attack it. No, you're an Islamophobe.
Right.
And Islamic people are just taking over their entire country and making it Sharia law and all kinds of shit being fucking mowed down while you're going for a stroll on the London Bridge.
With your girlfriend or whatever, or your child. But you're right because. And I understand it sucks for Muslims who are good people. But here's the problem. When you read the Quran, one of the things it says is, unfortunately, you do whatever it takes to befriend your enemy. Yeah. You make believe you like them. You make believe you assimilate with, like, the ones who. So now what do? How can you trust anybody? I always say it's better to be safe than sorry. Yeah. Never be a victim.
What really should happen if this was a perfect world, if we lived in the liberal world right now, since, listen, it's undisclosed, but let's just be real. Those Saudis are trillionaires. Fucking trillionaire. Like, big money time. Beyond belief. Yeah, we can never imagine that kind of money. Right. They should take hold of the situation since they're Muslim, right?
They are.
They should fucking assemble an amazing task force of super killers to go hunt these motherfuckers. I
agree.
And they should, like, we're Muslims, we don't stand for this.
Right.
This is what we stand for.
Yeah, and
they should do it, but they don't. So that makes it seem like they support it.
Exactly. And I always say, if you bury your head and do nothing, you're part of the problem. Yeah. Also, what I think they got to do, they got to get the Quran and they got to eliminate all this crazy violent shit.
They need a 2.0.
Take it right out. Yeah, exactly.
Revised Quran.
Without a doubt. You got to get somebody who's a scholar, very respected man or an imam, but someone who is respected, who knows their shit.
Yeah, even a group of them.
Just say,
rewrite it.
Say, listen, how do you expect the rest of the world to take us seriously when all we're talking about is killing them?
Yeah.
But they don't, and that's the part, I'm sorry to say, part of the problem with Islam is they don't have these people. Yeah. And you're right. You are fucking right. Listen, the Saudis don't need to have their own guys. The Saudis have the money to hire. Let me tell you something. You deal with this. The 5 best special ops in the world are any American special ops.
No.
Their hands above the best. Then you get into fucking, and they don't even listen. We'll
Israel.
even eliminate the Mossad out because they don't like Israel, but we'll take them out. You have fucking, Spetsnaz, bad motherfucking Russians. You got SAS, man. The SAS out of England are some bad motherfuckers. But you have guys like that. They can take out these fuckers. I guarantee you, you've seen it. Whenever you watch these American movies that are based on truth, like The Lone Survivor, The Sniper, these dudes, I know it's true because it said on the fuck, or even the one on Benghazi. Yeah, Benghazi had 2 or 3 guys die. So did The Lone Survivor. But do you know how many fucking militants they killed? Yeah. They killed hundreds. 3.
Crazy.
Killed 100 because they're well trained. These guys are just yahoos who get about AK-47 like just start fucking shooting.
Yeah.
They're not
trained fucking killers. No. Terrorists. They're fucking everyday people.
They know how to make a bomb.
Yeah. So that's what I don't get. Like, if they really truly are Muslims that, this is bad for us, then you guys need to, the good ones need to assemble, come together.
And that's the thing we never hear.
Or they need to just hire, like what you're saying, hire all these special forces, get them all together and be like, all right, this is a new plan. This is how we're going to organize.
We're just finance them.
Yeah. Just fucking give us the goddamn money to go do it. Like, if you care so much about Muslim.
Maybe they don't. Yeah. And that's,
I don't know. What's the plural form of, I don't know.
But I don't know. I'm sorry. We'll say Muzzy. Muzzy. No, but you're right. Like, and that's the problem. And that's where I think you have conservative people who particularly don't like Muslim people say this all the time. Now, it's true. Yeah. It's true. You hit the nail on the head. You can't sugarcoat anything you just said. You just said it. So money's not an issue, obviously. No.
The richest people on earth.
The richest.
Yeah.
If they had, it's their attitude. They kind of have this attitude of, we're not partaking in that behavior like an enabler.
Yeah, it was like the U.S. in World War II before we got attacked.
Exactly.
Listen, everyone's a part of this world. It's like I was saying, we're all. And when I said we're all on the same team, I meant it as a U.S. race. But we're all fucking human beings.
Exactly.
We're all on the same fucking team here. Like,
And I think what happens is, and something that besides all the lies and the fake bullshit the media tells me, there's one thing the media does really well that really bothers me, and I've been thinking about it a long time, and we haven't addressed it. But we never talked about this human race thing. I know that sounds kind of idealistic, and corny, but it's not. But the one thing that the media loves to do is put labels on people and divide them and drive them apart. Labels are fucking, like, I'll be the first to admit, like, I always talk about stereotypes, how much I love them. Even stereotypes that, like,
they're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. And they're true. Yeah. I mean, even stereotypes against, Italians. I'm Italian American, or a North Jersey Guido, so to speak. I laugh. I think it's funny. And my thing is to prove a stereotype wrong. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not a meathead.
Exactly.
But labels in the media are incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. Because they do nothing but divide wedges in people. And labels basically make confrontations occur. And the media loves that. They love it.
I love it. That's what they feed off of. It's confrontation.
Exactly.
When everything is going good, what would the news be?
Right. And that's how they
doom and gloom with them.
Exactly. And that's that. So. But also for a lot of you that didn't hear this morning, I have a feeling, Sal and I have been talking about this, and we've been talking about the Teflon politician.
Yeah.
Hillary.
Yeah.
Hillary, man, the fucking Teflon. I said it last week.
Gangster to the max.
That chick, Hillary Clinton, that old fucking lady that looks like she should be in a walker. She is the most feared woman in the world.
She's one of the most feared people
just
in general.
Yeah. Take
hands
that.
Down.
She is the most feared person, one of the most feared people in the world. And you look at her, like I saw her this week. She came out of hiding and did some bullshit. Terrible conferences, pointing fingers, blaming everybody again, like we talk about.
I mean, she's making that money.
Yeah,
she's getting that money for that.
Listen, when you come from where we do, when you come from New Jersey, you're used to not to be stereotypical like we mentioned, but you're used to the mafia guys, bad motherfuckers, hit you with a baseball bat, shoot you in the fucking head. When I look at Hillary Clinton and try to see that I know she's a mean, nasty, evil woman, and we all know the shit she does and what she's planned out. But when you look at her physically, it's a perfect cover.
Yeah, it really,
it's perfect.
It's an amazing cover. Like, I'm telling you, she has the secret to the goddamn universe. This lady.
No, you look at her. She looks feeble.
Yeah.
She kind of looks and acts like a grandmother who just blames everybody for fucking everything.
You ever remember the old Total Recall?
Yes.
And he goes, "You're gonna meet what is the name? Quota, whatever his name is." He's like, "But don't get scared. He's a mutant." It's like when she does that, and she just is like, "Don't get scared when you finally meet her."
Yeah.
The real Hillary, and she turns around like,
It's like, ah!
well, and you're just like, ah!
Right.
And you can never speak about it ever again, or you get killed.
Yeah. No, that's exactly. It's funny because I just read when we were on my honeymoon. I read and this is what I thought of. I read a book. It's one of these fictitious ex-CIA guy books. You know, he's got a series, and one of the most dangerous was this man, an Asian man who was like a ninja, but he dressed. He was small, and he was very feminine, and he was an expert in many, not just stabbing you. He was very intelligent, but he dressed as a transvestite. And he dressed like a woman, and he would get into places. Or she, whatever the fuck you want to call it, would get into a place that no one else could because of her feeble. And he was an expert at dressing up. So his favorite appearance was an old woman.
Oh my god!
And he would in the book he would walk like they weren't even looking to rob. They were going into they were in England, and they were looking to get into like one of these these very expensive jewelry places. Yeah. And he walked in and. The MO on this person was they're very wealthy, but they didn't even want to steal. What they want to do, they want to get a better scope where the politicians were, so they could shoot them because it was a terrorist attack.
Yeah,
and he was hired by a Middle Eastern terrorist attack, so he could have stole all the jewels, but he didn't. He was making believe he was there, she was there buying them. But my point was they didn't take her seriously because and that's Hillary Clinton. How can you listen? A guy like yourself or me, you look at Hillary Clinton, you're like, oh my God, grandma, yeah. Like you trip her, she breaks her hip, she's done,
she's going down. But no, she wields all kinds of fucking power, man.
She does.
It's very impressive. It really is. As much as I hate her, and
I hate her guts.
But if you I hate her, but I also kind of give her the respect of, wow, you are a fucking gangster and a half. Like,
wait a second, is there a possibility? Someone she may know be watching this? Hillary, I respect you. I really do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta be a little fucking.
No, fuck you, Hillary Clinton. I fucking hate you, scumbag twat. You know what I mean? Waffle. Yeah, but anyway,
you respect that. You can get away with fucking.
No, I agree. Kind of like Hitler. Kind of Hitler analogy. Like Hitler, as fucked up as he was, you got to kind of give him some props. He always people to do what he wants.
How do you brainwash? Like, what information do you have? That, it's all bullshit. Obviously, it's all fucking as thin as a goddamn.
Sheet of paper
as a card.
But I guess I'm bringing up her name because today, Yuma Albadin. Now, if you people don't know who Yuma Albadin is, this was Hillary's right-hand woman.
Anthony Weiner's
wife. That pedophile fuck. This is his wife. And Yuma Albadin was the main Kazan that Hillary sent all her private emails from her server to. So today, the FBI, two branches of the FBI, one was the federal and one was a local, went to Dearborn, Michigan. Now, if your people are not aware of this, Dearborn, Michigan is the most heavily populated Muslim community in the country. Yeah. And they just went there and they broke into, they didn't break in. They had a, what do you call it? They had a warrant. They went to Yuma Albadin's brother and sister's house. Now, for you people that don't know even remotely about Yuma Albadin, she had considerable ties, her mother, her father, her brother, her sister, to the Muslim Brotherhood. And they have an address it was located in London that a terrorist got busted. And the address, when they broke into this guy's computer and after the terrorist attack, when they gathered all the information, the address was Yuma Albadin's parents owned it.
Yeah. And now think all about coming that. Down. It's all getting interconnected and tied together.
So when I hear now this is what I'm going to say to you liberals out there and you Clinton supporters. When I hear all of you look at me and say to me, "Oh, Gary, all you do is give conspiracy theories. You know, she didn't kill those 160 people." No, she physically probably never touched one of them, but she gave either the money, the marching orders, or the guy to do it.
I mean, without a doubt. without a doubt.
And things like this aren't coincidence.
And it's crazy. Like, and I always thought, I was like, how do they connect, you know, the pedophilia ring? How do they connect the wiki emails? How do they connect this? How do they connect that? Oh my God, their stupidity connects it. They fucking had it all on her goddamn computer. Correct. Not even on a server. Someone's computer that was linked to a fucking pedophile. Yeah, and arrogant. Well, she'll never get caught. And not to be, this is where stereotyping comes in. When I saw that lady's name, Abaddon, I was like, I mean, that's not fishy to anybody. No. That she's so interconnected with the DNC. Right. With Huma Abaddon. Yep. Like, that doesn't scream terrorist to you. Of course it does. Come on, people. Like,
and listen, her buddy is that chick Linda Sansor.
But you can't profile.
Right, you can't that chick Linda Sansor was the same one who's buddies with Huma Abaddon, buddies with Hillary Clinton. She's the one 4 months ago or 3 months ago, whatever the fuck it was. She was one of the formulators of these marches where women dressed up in like vaginas and all. She was one of them.
Please.
Come on. So these are people, and Sal's right. Shit's starting to go down.
It's all getting connected to where, like, if that story drops, if that story does drop, we already talked about it, it'll be news for the next 2 years. Like, nonstop coverage around the clock, like when Sandusky fucking got busted. Yeah. Just nonstop coverage of it.
The funny part is I haven't seen this on any news.
No, it was just a little quick news blip like we talked about.
And news do not, you know what's funny? All this stuff we're talking about, the mainstream media doesn't even pick it up. And this is why you need this.
Yeah. They choose not to pick it up.
Right, of course. And this is why we need like, not just Sal and Sal and I get all our information from podcasts, from like, the only thing that's legit in the government is C-SPAN. That's it.
That's true. I get like the C-SPAN news breaks. Yep. The fucking they'll be on the Bloomberg ticker. Yep. They'll fucking break in.
It's the only thing that's legit.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, that's something I can actually take home on. Like,
all the rest is bullshit.
It's all ridiculous.
And I think the one thing that our girl Hillary, or Killary as I like to call her, hung her hat on was she had her fucking claws deep into all the federal agencies who investigate also. So think about this. If you have people who are not only won't investigate you, if they're told to stand down, they do. Yeah. You know, probably all the lawyers, which is obviously with Seth Rich. We find out Debbie Wasserman Schultz's brother is assistant prosecutor in that jurisdiction. You have the fucking world. You are the wizard.
The black guy you talked about last week. Yeah, it was funny as hell because actually, even on Joe Rogan's podcast, it got brought up. He knew nothing about it. His producer brought it up. He's like, "Hey, did you see this?" Mm-hmm. And I mean, they glossed over. I mean, I'm telling you, like this was like a minute or two, but like I was like, "Holy shit!" They actually mentioned something, right? And then they like quickly straight off the topic.
Yeah, I don't think Joe Rogan likes to go there.
No, that's not his forte. Nothing like that. He's not into it. Like, he's not into politics like that. His ideas are obviously a little warped because he lives in LA and
he's all fucked up. And they're his buddy.
It is what it is. Yeah, your own opinion though. He's not ill will or he's just not trying to fucking spread hate.
But how was something like that not ever brought up?
I don't know. It's unreal.
I didn't see it one thing.
It was like that little fucking. It was like a little headline news for the local beach that was in Florida. That was it.
Well, my thing is, I literally after I heard about it. And I have this weird fucking personality now where when I hear this shit, I try to find it. Like I want to not researching because I already got my information. I try to see what other people are saying about nothing. The guy was and I'm told that guy was the kid. He was 37 years old, African American, which puts him high on the radar. I heard he was a sharp dude. I heard he was well dressed, articulate, the whole thing. You know, he was the shit and disappeared. Where now? My question was always this: where's the fucking family of this guy? Because let me tell you something. God forbid. God forbid if anything ever happened to a loved one of mine like this. Somebody I really, truly loved, I wouldn't give a flying fuck about how much money you're offering me. You know what I would do? I'd go out and get my fucking guns and I'd go start shooting motherfuckers. And then at that point, I don't even care if I got killed.
Exactly.
What do I got?
Exactly. As long as you're taking everyone down with you.
Yeah, I'm taking people down. And nothing ever like this ever happens. No. It's so many people.
It's fucking unreal, and it's just all tied in, man. It's fucking crazy. That's why we do this.
I get.
To get people fucking some knowledge.
Exactly, and then the last thing I want to mention, and it was great. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy. His name was. There was two things, and you do know, but I just want to briefly go over the Paris Accord.
Oh yeah,
because
Because people are morons.
Right.
Don't understand.
Right. Like, people, if you don't understand what the Paris Accord was about, it's got nothing to do with climate change.
With science.
Nothing.
Everything I hear is like, well, this is setting back science. The scientists are going crazy. The scientists are going crazy. The scientists, no shit, they're going crazy. They're losing all their money for all their stupid shit.
Yeah.
And now they actually have to work.
Well, it's funny because we talked about this.
Bullshit.
If you think for one bit it's about climate change, or if you think it's one bit about global warming,
our emissions are melting the ice. Of course they are.
Right.
Figure out a way to fix the emissions. Right. Or not stop the. God damn. The stupidity is unreal. Like,
or if you think these guys, really care about carbon footprints, just let me get. This is a fact. Let me give you a little fucking bit of information. Educate everyone out there. The 3 worst fucking polluters in the world are India, China, Russia. Guess how much in the last 10 years they gave to this Paris Accord, global warming? Nothing.
0.
Not $1. Guess how much we've given as Americans? 1 billion plus. So that just goes to show you that this is all full of shit.
It's all bullshit.
It's basically holding the richest guy as a fucking hostage.
Yeah.
And that was us. And President Donald Trump said, fuck you no more. And I could not be prouder or happier, because that's something he said he was going to do. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because a lot of people think that, I heard someone, I won't mention their name, on Facebook yesterday, wrote, and they're a friend of mine, and they're actually a relative of mine. It's a cousin. And they wrote, fuck you, President Trump, for turning down the Paris Accord and global warming. And I want to say, with all due respect, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because if you think in ideology, in a perfect world, yes, the Paris Accord is about global warming, climate change, carbon footprint, emissions. Yes, it is.
We all know what's happening.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
But if you're going to say, wait a second, how come the biggest polluters, and let me tell you something, since 1988, America has knocked their emissions down every year by 12%. Fact. Technology, like you said. So we're improving.
They don't want to talk about shit like that.
Right. So
why talk about that?
Right. They don't want to say shit about that. So even under Bush, Obama, and it really, I don't, and even if it goes on under Trump, I'm not really saying the president's, good for them. It was their watch. Got to give them some credit. But it's the technology. That's what it is. We're improving technology. But how the fuck are you going to tell me that we got a shitty deal every year and the worst polluters don't pay a nickel?
Explain that. Explain it. That's what I would love a liberal person to call in and tell us right now.
And when people say fuck President Trump because of the Paris Accord, and I've heard this on CNN.
I've heard that from everyone.
I heard it from everybody. He's not saying he's saying we want a better deal. Yeah. That's all he's saying. And that's the one thing. And you said
he hates science.
Right, he hates it. And you said something last week.
He wants us all to be Christian.
Right.
It's like, no, he doesn't actually.
It's you hit the hell, and you could just get into it briefly again. It's the clickbait technique.
Yeah. It's all clickbait, headline clickbait, trying to get all the clicks.
So Trump out of Paris hates science.
Yeah.
But they don't go into that. He never said that.
Trump, science denier.
Right. Trump wants to pollute the world.
Yeah. Trump.
Like he's Dr. Evil.
Trump, madman, on a loose.
Right.
Trump. World leaders don't respect him at all.
Right.
It's like they're making it all up. What world leaders have been saying is that all they do is respect Trump.
Exactly.
It's like what the one like Merkel and Macron,
and Trudeau,
the pieces of shit of the world don't like him. That's what you talk about.
Listen, I don't know if you people know this. Today in Canada, as we speak, 5,000 people marched on fucking Montreal, where that piece of shit Trudeau is, and said, we don't like you. We want a guy like President Trump. That's a lot of fucking people in the capital city of fucking Canada, saying in Montreal, the epicenter of that country, we are pro-Trump.
I'm sure he'll water cannon them or something.
You'll never hear about it. You'll never see. You think you'll see it on the fucking CNN news? No. That's huge.
No, because they love Trudeau. He's like the face.
He's a piece of shit.
He's the face of that global movement.
That fucking wearing his skinny, tight fucking suits. Like, wear a suit that fits you, you fucking skinny bastard, you little faggot.
You can tell he's a useful idiot.
Yeah, he's a useful idiot. Yeah. He's got, his dad was a fucking piece of shit. So now he was brought up into it, like you said, the mental illness. But he has that perfect, like, cute little, like, perfect politician face that we talk about that you do that good.
Yeah.
That, I'm a politician. Listen to me. I know better than you. Like, Fuck you. You don't know shit. You're rich. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's what gets you into the point of power at all. It's just you being rich. Like
exactly.
Having family status.
But the last thing I want to bring up today is there was two interviews about the Paris Accord. They were phenomenal. Two guys, Rand Paul, and he was with Jake Tapper over at. He made Tapper look like such a fucking asshole, and Tapper kept trying. And Rand Paul,
he's a smart dude.
Smart dude. He tore him to shreds. And if you people can and YouTube this, and one day we will have this video where we're going to put up and be able to watch it. But if you don't know a guy named John Sununu was chief of staff for George W. Bush. And let me tell you something about John Sununu. He's a brilliant fucking dude. So there's this chick at CNN called Alyssa Camerata. Okay. If you know her. And actually, she's kind of a cute chick. Usually they're ugly fucks like Rachel Maddow, but she's kind of cute. But that doesn't stop her cuteness, doesn't make her annoyance go away. Exactly. But she wasn't really talking about the Paris Accord. She was going more on the Russia-Trump stuff. When I tell you that this is the funniest part, like in Rand Paul shook down Jake Tapper on knowledge and basically had a little smirk on his face. John Sununu basically tore her an asshole the sides of the Lincoln Tunnel and was laughing at her. He was fucking laughing at her. And he was like, well, Alyssa, what do you got about Russia and Trump? What do you got? And she's like, nothing. He said, then why are we talking about it? And like he was like, and she kept saying, but he's like, there he goes, listen, Alyssa, all you're doing is hypothetical upon hypothetical, conspiracy upon conspiracy, lie upon lie. And he started laughing. He goes, you wouldn't have a job because you don't do your job properly. And he's laughing. At the end, she got so pissed. She's like, well, sir, we're done here. And he's like, this should have been done a long time ago because it was a waste of my time. Yeah, and he just so good. And he just ripped her a new asshole. Good. And it's a really funny clip if you can see. It was John Sununu with Alyssa Camerata. It was really funny.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
But a dude like that, he was old school. He's like, none of this nonsense, none of this stuff. And because she kept talking about the ambassadors, and he said, wait a second, let me get this right. A prospective president has ambassadors looking to talk to him. He goes, Alyssa, this has been going on since Roman times. Yeah. He's like, they want to friend that person. So because if he or she gets elected, they want to be in the know. He goes, this is basic. This goes back to fucking horse and buggy times. Yeah. This goes back to fucking like the beginnings of Earth. Yeah. If two people way back, right? Then. If you were growing up,
this is back to when we were in the cave. You want to be friends with the guy so you can get in this fucking cave.
That's exactly what he said. That guy's got a bigger fire. Like he may be going into the cave. I want to be friends with him. Yeah. He goes, that's what he basically said.
He's got a nicer cave than me. Maybe exactly. I can live with him.
Exactly. And that's it. Or that guy's a better hunter. He eats every night. Let's befriend him. I want to go out with him. That's exactly that's what these ambassadors were doing. And he just said it blatantly. And he goes, you got nothing. And he was laughing the whole time, which was great. When you see an older man who's really bright laughing at some young fucking idiot like this chick, like this useful idiot, it was comical. It was great.
Hypothetically, you want to hear a crazy scenario?
Yeah.
They should do MMA competition for all world leaders and top two. We'll get the rule. So
Putin's up there.
Well, Putin knows he's like a black belt in judo and jiu-jitsu. So he's gonna win. Yeah. But we just gotta train Trump up. He's a big man. He's big and burly.
Yeah, he's a little old.
He can fucking wrestle and start ground and pound.
You know what I want to say? That North Korean dude is gonna like run away.
Oh, he would get killed. He's too small. He would get killed like Aldo got killed last night.
Yeah. No, he would. The North Korean dude. I don't even think he's a man. He's he's kind of like a pseudo.
Lemming man.
Yeah, like a lemming, like what do you call that cheek what do you call that fucking cheekaboo? What is that fucking thing? That's what he is. He's like whatever that animated
Pikachu.
Character. Pikachu. That's what he is. He's a Pikachu.
Lightning comes out of his ass.
That's right. But that's it. But it is crazy. It's just crazy what's going on there. But what do you got? Anything else?
Nah, we can wrap it up. We'll go out with Stranglehold like we came in.
Listen, everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day today. Sal will be here next week again. We'll look forward to talking to you. And hopefully next week, basically 1 week from today when we're sitting here, we'll have some normal shit to talk about.
Yes, hopefully.
But if you're a betting person, I wouldn't bet on it. Yeah. It's going to get fucking worse.
They're going to double down, triple down this week.
They're going
like 2 weeks ago, that was a shitstorm. Now, like, how do we get back to that kind of coverage of fucking bullshit?
Of madness, of insanity. So Gabagool out. Peace, everyone. Have a great night. Great Sunday.
Have a nice night.
Thank you. How long did that go?